Hi Virgo! Welcome to a new feature of mine. It's called Astroweather with Raina, and I think I'm going to be doing this twice a month. There is a possibility I'll do it every week, but it might be a bit much to make that many videos, and things don't change that often. I'm basically covering bigger transits that affect you, and I always say that this is a general forecast for Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising because it does depend on the date you were born as well as your degree of rising sign if you're a Virgo Rising in terms of when these things are going to happen. And, you know, it's a general trend looking at certain energies, not predicting that for sure something's going to happen. But I find that I don't need things to be yes, guaranteed that something's going to happen because I'm willing to live my life in a proactive way. But I like to know the theme, the flavor of what I'm dealing with because it gives me a little bit more guidance. And I don't feel like I'm fumbling in the dark, you know, in terms of what life is all about for this period of time. So in your case, you have a great concentration of energy now in the second house of earned income. So this should make you very happy, Virgo, because you're an earth sign and money is a very practical kind of tangible thing. So I'm sure that there'll be music to your ears to hear that you have all this attention on the second house of earned income. The sun is there. Now this is in Libra, obviously. And Jupiter is going to be there for over a year, and until October 2017. So that can just increase your earned income because Jupiter increases, it expands whatever house it enters, the whatever it represents, and it can really change your life in a lot of ways if you play your cards right. Pardon the pun since I do the tarot as well. And you also have the new moon in this house. Now this is going to be on the 30th of September. And so that is the focus for the end of September, are these triggers to the second house. So I would definitely, after the new moon on the 30th, kind of set your intentions of maybe more income streams that you would like to attract to you or manifest. And that would be very cool. You would be surprised at the ideas that you might come up with. Now, speaking of ideas, I think of Mercury, which is your ruler. And Mercury had been retrograde, right? So it went direct on September 22nd. And it went direct in your own first house. And this is your sign. So, you experienced the Mercury retrograde as somebody who is ruled by Mercury. So I would love to hear if anyone has a horror story about it, or if you felt like things were improved during this period of time. Because I have heard that people who are ruled by Mercury don't suffer like the average person. So good for you if you had the last 3.5 weeks were fine and dandy for you. That would be wonderful. So in the first house, Mercury makes you wanting to kind of, let people know who you are for some reason. Maybe it's even just speaking your truth of what you represent. And I immediately think of PR. So for anyone who is looking for a job, for instance, or looking for clientele who has to sell themselves to other people, this is really a good time for you because I feel like you probably have been reviewing the way that you put your message out, and now you have a better grasp of it, and you can effectively sell yourself to other people, and they will probably be more likely to listen because it's going to be coming from alignment. There's going to be this sense of you really standing in your truth. And, you know, it's interesting because Virgo is a very modest sign. So especially if you have Virgo rising, you may be the kind of person who kind of is very introverted, and it might be very difficult for you to sell yourself. And I would say that even with the sun in Virgo, where you might say to yourself, what do I have to offer? Because you can see all of your flaws. Well, this is something to really look at, because you want to, you know, it's interesting. The second house is also the house of self-esteem. It's our values, and it can be valuable physical items. So it could be like luxury items that you buy and that you have the ability to buy with Jupiter in that house. Okay, so it can be a very good time for people who want to buy luxury items when you have Jupiter in the second house. But I feel like also for Virgo, you need to look at your self-esteem. And is it on point? Are you selling yourself short? And, you know, I'm not asking you to morph into a Leo. And pardon me for any Leo sun or rising people who are watching this, and don't think I'm just, you know, joking, kind of. But it's really about a modest form of self-confidence. Not having to, you know, draw attention to yourself, but not putting yourself down. And it's amazing to me how many people do that unconsciously. I mean, we all know, and most of the viewers are women for my videos, that women have a tendency when someone says, oh, I love that dress. Oh, this old thing. Oh, I've had this for 10 years. You know, when I compliment somebody and they kind of put down whatever it is that I'm admiring, whether it's their clothes or some other item, you know, that can be perceived as an insult too. It's like, oh, so you're telling me I don't have any taste, huh? But you know what I'm saying? So definitely kind of look at how you talk about yourself when you are in public. You know, tooting your own horn might be a little bit much, bragging, you know, but on the other hand, complaining about yourself, pointing out flaws, which is kind of, I think, a little bit of a strategy, because some people think that other people will point them out, so they want to be the first ones to do so. These kind of things are, you know, against you. They work against you from the level of law of attraction, because when you don't value yourself, other people will tend to go along with that as well. They will cooperate with you, and the universe will reflect that. So just a little tip from a Virgo moon. So anyway, what else is happening? So Mars is going into your 5th house on the 27th of September. So this is your romance house. If you're single, you may be a man or woman on a mission to finding the perfect partner. And, you know, the 5th house can actually be recreational sex. I had this friendly debate on YouTube about the 5th house versus the 8th house. The 8th house is really the, you know, considered the sex house, because it's a house that Scorpio rules. But the 5th house is, I like the description or the definition, recreational sex, because it's kind of like for fun, just like other amusements that are represented by the 5th house. And so it's just like things that we like to do for fun. So when Mars, which can be your sexual drive, goes into the 5th house, it's like, watch out, you know. So if you are single and looking, be careful not to fall into the trap of perhaps getting involved sexually before you've really gotten to know someone, because then it could be, you know, premature. You could be going too quickly into something that is supposed to be a gradual process. And I just said to you that I have a moon in Virgo. I don't know if I'm sounding puritanical by saying that, but I just feel like when we want things to really, happen for us, if we want a relationship, then I feel it would behoove anyone who wants a relationship to kind of be mindful of the way that they approach romance. If they are just trying to take a shortcut by getting involved physically before they have really gotten to know the person. Because, even if you have an insane sexual chemistry, if you're not on the same page, if you don't have the same interests, not carbon copy, but, in the same ballpark, if you don't see the world in a similar way, if you have clashing values and those kinds of things, then chances are it will end up being just an affair. And if that's okay with you, then, go for it. But if it's something that you really want to make more of a permanent commitment, then you have to start it off on the right foot, And it seems to me that gradual is better than, immediately intense. So the other thing that Mars in the 5th can do is make you very creative and just be driven to create, if you're an artist, of course. This is actually very nice because sometimes people who are artists, and I consider myself an artist because I'm a writer, sometimes creativity doesn't seem to flow as evenly as we would like. And if we can just be consistent, and if we have a certain drive, like if we have a goal that we want to accomplish, that can kind of spur us to take that action, and then it kind of develops a life of its own. So definitely take advantage of that, and that should energize you. And the 5th house can relate to children and sports. So, some people may find that they are involved with children very actively, but with sports, yes, because you may be taking up something that you've always wanted to take up. And then Venus, well, I shouldn't say then, because Venus before that, on the 23rd of the month, when I'm recording this, is now in your 3rd house of Scorpio. So what does this mean? Well, this could mean, because Mercury rules the third and the 6th houses. You're the 6th house, Virgo. You rule the 6th house with Mercury there. And the 3rd house is Gemini's natural house. So it deals with communication issues. And the internet is included in this. And with Venus there, you could meet some sort of partner online. And that would be very interesting. This can also deal with siblings or other extended family members. So if you've had any kind of, falling out with a sibling, maybe you kind of mend fences and everything is back to how it should be. So it sounds like, from my perspective, Virgo, that you have a lot of great money mojo happening. And, for those of you who are looking for love, you have a couple of nice transits as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, there's a link below this video to my website. And otherwise, have a great rest of September. Take care. Bye.